Monday. It's parenting.
Yeah. I feel like
I love that you're feeling so
I don't
much.
feel anything.
You feel nothing?
No, I was just gonna say, like, I just, when we were the first to have babies, right? So our babies are so old now.
Oh, no.
Like, I know we've talked about this, but when I'm around, some of my friends and obviously my siblings just have babies, I just feel like there really is, you live in a different world when your kids are in different ages, and that's why when you first have a baby, I do have a topic that I want to talk about, but it's so important for you to be around and be in a community of people that have kids the same age as you. Exactly why we have the common parent is we needed a community of people that, we were at a point where we didn't need to talk about babies and feedings and diapers and sleeping and naps and strollers and all of that. So we needed a community, hence why we originally started the common parent. Why we originally started Cat Nat was because we needed a community of people to talk about baby stuff, yada, yada. Side note, aside from that, it's just such a weird feeling like you're
just think
an older
about this
mom.
because right now you're going through, here's what's so weird is I was thinking about this last night. You're going through the university process, college process for the first time, and it starts way earlier than you can even imagine. So in our grade 12 year, we don't have SATs like you guys have. So your courses that you pick matter for your university years from grade 11 and 12, and then it depends if you're semestered or not semestered, and so much matters. Now,
Which kind of not an opposite of compliments, but like argue, I don't know what the word is, which goes against what we're learning of children and their growth and different opportunities for post secondary education. When we're don't ask kids what they want to be when they grow up.
I know.
Don't expect a 16-year-old to know what they want to take in university, but yet
you have to choose for your life.
You have to choose. And I mean, when I was on this, like, choosing your grade 12 classes, which are basically like, the classes you need to get into university, the woman was like, well, you guys have been on this path since grade 9 following. No, I didn't. I never considered, Taylor and I never considered grade 9 and grade 10 what classes she was going to need.
And I think what I said was she just didn't want to listen.
I guess.
Because it is.
You need to get parents involved. You can't expect 14, 15-year-old kids.
I think they do. I just think that
I wouldn't have. I mean, I went in.
I don't think it came home. I think that the things, because if it's like the course selection matters to the point where they're having the conversation. Here's the tricky thing. It depends on what the kids want to take from it and what they want to bring home, because they can't chase every parent to be like, hey, by the way. So it has to be the kid to go home and be like, hey, these are my courses I'm picking.
Or a parent to get themselves
involved,
which a lot of parents are.
Yeah. So I do know it starts early, and it's not just the private schools that start early because it does matter, which we realized, because I think what you thought was it was just the private schools that did this, and now we know, it's all the schools that do this because you have to pick a path. But what's interesting is this is your first year doing it. Then I had a moment. I was like, oh my God, every year after we have another one doing it.
But like, how is a kid really supposed to unless they have like a natural, like Taylor's friend who's going to university next year always knew what he wanted to be in. He knew the area. Like lucky. It's lucky, and it should be so uncommon, because you should not know. All you're doing is being a kid. You're playing sports. You're hanging out with your friends. You're trying to get grades. You're doing all these things. To also know what interest of life I would want to do. How could I know? I don't even know myself.
It hasn't really hit me that they're going, like, it hasn't hit me the responsibility of university. Like, it hasn't hit me of that's so grown up. Like, that is so grown up. That's so grown up. And I think when you think of parenting, it's like when you get married and you don't really think past marriage, like the actual wedding.
Yeah.
Not everyone does. They just think about the wedding and then they're like, oh my God, now I'm married. I would say my parenting brain stopped at high school. Like, I haven't thought.
Yeah.
There's been no thought past high school, and I don't. And I think people lie to you and say that you're done parenting 18. That's a lie. That's the biggest lie. That is such a lie.
Sounds like that's when the real shit begins.
That's the lie of a lifetime. And a Maclean's article just came up, which is one of our Canadian magazines, and was like, no longer kids are living at home till like the launching age is now around 29 to 32,
which has
like,
also to do with the economy. It's just it's not affordable.
The launching age is no longer 18, so you are like back in the fucking house. So I'm kind of like 18. We need to flip that script that 18 is no longer the launching age. Maybe you can vote. I don't think you're an adult at that age, and I'm not sure that you are. You're still my problem at 18. Let's just call it what it is. That everyone who's like, oh, 18 years goes by so fast. Excuse me, it's up to 30 now. Like,
because in reality, they need to be able to be in a position where they're making enough money that they don't need our help. And if you're in school and you're just starting out, like, it's so hard to be able to afford all that. But you know what I have noticed is, and I don't know if it's like more the people that I talk to.
Well, also the article goes on to say basically that it's the remnants, let's just say, of how we parent. Like, we're so involved that it is a natural progression for them to come back because we help them choose their courses, because we talk about what they're going to do in university. So we keep the tether along. We email our teachers about how they're learning. We just kind of keep on going. It's like we're keeping them. We keep them. And so there's no natural progression of them to leave because they come home at university and then they're like, well, I don't need to leave yet. Like, because they are still children in a lot of ways. They're not really adults. And it also said that way back in the day, work was an option. It wasn't just university. So people would go and make money. You could go and make a great living and make money. But now that academics has come in, as you get paid more money if you go to school, which I don't know if that's the case anymore, but a lot of the jobs, like if you have a university degree, you get more than if you have a college degree. You get more if you have a high school degree. Less. So a lot of it became postponing growing up because of school. Yeah. So now they just go to school and then they go to more school. Yeah. And then they go to more school. Yeah. And then they're just like, now I got so much school, but I don't know how to fucking live my life.
I don't actually do anything.
So they're saying that a lot of it is the parenting. It's like a style of how we're raising our kids.
That makes sense for sure.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that was an interesting fact of how.
I was saying that because Taylor's in her second last year of high school, most people have said to me that I've talked to, and it might be the people I roll with, you know,
my forest.
I can see the forest for the trees. Most people have said to me, so is she thinking about going to like university? Like it's a question.
Yeah.
And then they're also asking me, well, she's not going to leave Toronto, right? Now, I think that's also a bit of a combination of the character Taylor has been in our lives. Yeah. Was always like, I'm not sure. Like,
so weird. I have never asked you that. I'm never like, where, like
because you're talking with me every day, so you know that we're in the process of thinking about university.
It's not in my, I can't grasp it.
If I wasn't talking about it, you might ask me, right? If we didn't see each other.
I don't think so. Not right now, not for grade 11.
Right.
No, I would never think that, I would never think that in grade 11, we're talking about where they're going. And the only reason we're talking about where they're going is because we have a friend who is a kid in grade 12 and they're like, oh, heads up, this matters.
Actually, yeah, if it weren't for the woman that we work with and Taylor's boyfriend, I don't think that it would be on my radar.
So, but that is a bigger microcosm, or like that's a bigger spotlight of what's really going on is they have friends and siblings who talk about it. So it does show up earlier.
And some of their parents are really knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Like some of them really, like a lot of these, like Taylor's got a friend whose mom is a guidance counselor. So she knows everything, and I'm like, can you talk to her mom? Because this mom is never going to grasp it. And this dad isn't looking into it. Oh, like you're on your own.
Yeah, so is mine.
And I try, like I'll go on. They're like, oh, after I had the university, like or the course selection for grade 12, which really is talking about university. That's what you're talking about when you're talking about grade 12. And I went on there, like you go on this website and then you click on the program. There's so many programs.
Oh, I know. Overwhelmed.
My poor child is supposed to understand this. Like anyways. And then a lot of the people say to me, yeah, like, is she going to go to university? And then they're like,
I think also that's because it's nice to know
there's options.
Yeah. Like
and they know I didn't go.
Well, so I think that it's respectful. It's like
Mhm.
asking rather than being like, where is she going?
Right.
It's sort of like, is she, I always say like, oh, is that your choice? Like, what are you thinking
Mhm.
about in terms of like
Mhm.
after this? Never are you going.
I think it's so great. All of the Americans talk about they call them like regrading or not re-aging, but it's like
yeah.
so like they'll redo grade 10, redo grade 11.
And prep
it's
years
like,
are huge there.
Yeah, and it's no big deal, like especially if you have a late birthday. But here in Canada, I don't know anybody. I've never not heard of anybody who does that.
It's happening now.
Good,
but they're just
I did grade 14.
They're holding them back. Like they're just not putting them in the year they should be in.
Oh, for kindergarten.
Yeah, but some places don't have kindergarten. Like out west doesn't have kindergarten.
But like it should be happening all the time. The problem is in Canada, it's a stigma of failing a grade.
Yeah.
Whereas in the States, it's like, oh no, you're just younger, or you need to play sport that one more year, or you need to like it's
common.
No big deal.
I just don't. You're actually not allowed to regrade them once they're in. It's funding.
Canada.
It's the things. It's
right,
the money.
Then everyone would just.
It's the like he needs
That's
another
true.
year. Like it screws all of the.
The people that I'm talking about go to private schools in the States.
Yeah,
So I don't know how much it happens in public school.
In the States, they get charged if they don't go per day. That's why they can't miss.
I know.
So it's really when everyone's like, oh my God, you're going away for a week. That doesn't fuck our funding. We have money once that kid sets foot in the school. So it's what matters is if they leave, the enrollment matters, not the attendance.
Yeah.
They don't allocate per day. They allocate per kid. So that's tricky.
Yeah, that is.
When you were like there, you didn't go to university. How important is it for you? Like, if you're really honest with yourself, how important is it for you that your kids go to university?
Okay, being the person that I am.
Yeah.
Selfishly, I like the idea of them going to university so they have 4 years to learn independence. It has, by the way, nothing to do with education, which is so bad. Because I mean, that's such a privilege to say I'm going to like pay for them to go to university, but I don't really care what they learn.
Could they go travel and live abroad? Would that be okay with like a program?
With a program, yes, I guess. But I like the 4 years.
Yeah,
it's 4 years of buying the.
It's 3, right? And the 4th's the option.
Yeah, but I think they mostly go for 4 years.
Oh.
It's that they're so young when they graduate. Like when Taylor goes to university, if she goes, and Tucker, they'll both be 17. That is so young. The one thing I ended up going into a college program, but it was really, again, just to waste time, to buy time. Because if you're not in school, you're immediately going to the workforce, and that's so young to start.
Yeah.
And there's kids that are so made for it. Like, remember that guy? He was ready for the workforce before he finished high school. I didn't even know he finished high school. He was ready to work.
Yeah.
Right. There's that. But I like the idea of sending them away to university. They learn how to live on their own, how to budget on their own, how to do all of that stuff. And then also gives them 4 years to ease into the real world.
It's too bad. It's so academic. That's what's so too bad. Like, it's so too bad that university is really for academics.
Yeah. Because I don't think about the part that they have to also keep up their grades.
And apparently it's hard.
Yeah.
I was like, hard. I was like, what?
I'm like, take the easiest program you can get, because unless you're learning a particular skill at university, this is buying yourself time. So I want them to go because, I really.
Can you fail university?
Yeah. They'll kick you out.
What?
Yeah, they kick you out. I know. Can you believe they don't want your money? No, my brother he was almost kicked out, and my other brother saved him. Like they put you on academic probation first, and then if you don't get your marks, you're out.
Oh,
I know.
This is terrible.
But I don't think you have to get higher than you just have to pass. No one's checking.
What's a pass? They've changed passes
What's
now.
A pass university?
Well, when I was at social work, the pass was, I think, 72 because it's an accredited course with the government, so you couldn't just get 50. You had to know more than a percentage of the workload. Like if you're going into like therapy or like doctors can't do 50%. I'm pretty sure you can't just know 50%.
Oh yeah.
You,
No.
you have to have like
even to get into med school, you have to like a really high you have
I
to
just
test.
made that up, but I'm pretty sure you can't. I know 50% of this shit. I'm out of here.
That's a good point. You should probably know 100% of it.
I feel like part of the things you do, certain programs, a little bit higher than the 50. If you're doing like a BA, but I think you might as well. Yeah, just go live on campus and pretend you're going to school at that point. If you're just going to go to right now, a BA, it feels like it's worth nothing. Feels like it's worth debt.
And by the way, I am willing.
No, I'm saying though, like
yes, I don't think that they're what they might learn is about themselves, which is really going to be important for what you decide to be when you grow up.
Oh, I did tell my kids. I said I want to remind you, university is not the end game. University's your start game. So if you're just thinking you're going to go to university and get a job, I hate to break it to you, Toots. That's not even a realm for some people. Like you need to have a personality. You need to have a resume. You need to show what you're doing. Like it is.
And it would be important to maybe find out what actually interests you.
It's a compete. I mean, yeah, you know what? I actually don't care what interests you. Get a fucking job.
No, I know. But if you're able during that time to find out what you actually like doing, then doing that job, you won't have such a bad taste in your mouth about what work is.
Yeah, I think though, this might be controversial.
I'm so glad I did shitty jobs that I didn't like though, because I felt I put in my time.
I feel like that might be part of our problem in the world right now. Is because people don't like their jobs. They're like, I'm not going to go to work. I think liking your job is a privilege later on in life where you work to get to a job you like.
Right.
You might like a field, but I don't care if you like it or not.
That's right.
Get a fucking job.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of like this whole ideology that you have your passion for a job, make money, and then go find your passion.
100%.
Go make money because you have to pay the bills. There's a lot of people still searching for what they love.
Oh, yeah, no.
That's an entitlement.
No, and you know what? During the time that you're doing that job that you don't love, like soul search, what about this job don't I love? What do I love? You know, I'm glad that I had to do a lot of jobs, the kind of jobs that like I would try and think of some way of getting it out of it until the very second I opened the door to get into that work. And every minute I was there, I counted down the minutes till it was over, you know?
And
and there was no choice. There was no quitting.
Hard stop. I said to my, I think it's going to be interesting when Max gets to this age, but I think Olivia, 14, turning 15, she only worked for 5 weeks out of the summer. Their summer is, I think, a total of, I want to say 9 to 10, 10, let's call it 10, because of the June, you get a break. I think that that was the best thing. You have to get a job this summer. You can have some time off, but this is not a week. You need a job for at least a month. You need to work for 4 weeks. Because I think that what she realizes when she went to go do her resume and apply to this other job they're looking into, it helped her open a door. And that's just a very small door that opened. But I'm like, what you're doing is your leadership certificate. The girl was like, I'm so impressed you have your leadership course that you took on your own. So I said to her, I'm like, what you're doing is you're building something
so true
that opens doors. And if you just sit on your ass for 14, 15, 16, 17 and then go to university and haven't had a job where you're accountable, I think
that's a big thing, is just being there on time, doing your job,
just having a boss.
Yeah.
That isn't your mom.
And that sometimes that boss has unrealistic expectations and you got to fucking suck it up.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that I was so I really want all of them to experience that, because I watched her and she didn't love the commitment of it was a lot of work. Having the feeling of having to do something in the summer is a hard pill for a lot of these kids, very privileged kids to swallow. It's my summer. Okay, good. You get 4 weeks off. That's a lot of time.
A really good experience in which, when you write a resume, you can pull on things of the job, to make them seem like they're, the bigger strengths. That's your job in your resume. It's just to write what you want. But kids dealing with adults.
Yeah. Yes.
Dealing with other parents, dealing with conflict, dealing with all that kind of stuff, and not having your mom there to help you out, and having to in the moment deal with it. I found when when Taylor did one of her jobs, the children were really little and the parents were very involved. And she got the owners of the camp were busy. So they're like, you will deal with the parents.
Yeah.
And it was so good because she was a great person for it, because she's like, not argumentative. She's fair, but that experience of dealing with parents and then being given that you're the one in charge of the parents, that's a really good experience to have, because like for me, I was always really intimidated by adults.
That was shocking that was part of Olivia's job every morning
Dealing
and every
with parents.
Well, drop off, pick up.
Yeah.
They talk to you. You have to talk. Like that's
Big
a
one.
Well, because it's a representation of your business too. Like especially at a place where you're paying money and a lot of money, and you have this 14-year-old addressing parents, but they're the ones dealing with your kids. So you want to see that kid who's dealing with your parents, and even just the expectation of like, don't ever show our work logo online. Don't post things when you're in your uniform. Like all of those things that we could never tell them because we didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
When you're younger, it's such a good teacher, because when they're older, they might go post something in their uniform and not think about it.
Yeah.
And then someone's like, dude, your employee from McDonald's is like, you know what I mean? Like all of these things.
I remember our, I don't know what the kids were talking about in school, but I remember when I went to a school that had a uniform, we spoke so often about when you're in that uniform. First of all, you wear a uniform to school and home from school, and you don't put anything else on. And the way you wear your uniform is a representation of our school, but your behavior while you're wearing that uniform. And they would talk about that all the time.
You can get a freaking phone call.
You get a phone call, but also it's a representation of school. So let's say you're riding the subway and you're in that uniform and you're acting like a piece of shit. There's 10 parents who are like, I was thinking of going to that school, but that kid's a piece of shit. I don't want my kid to go there.
Someone actually gave that example. The sidewalk. Was it you?
What sidewalk?
Basically, they were walking down the sidewalk, and one school there's two schools in particular that are really like big on manners. I'm sure they all are, but do the kids move out of the way for the strollers and the thing? And like, do they acknowledge the adults, or do they just ignore them and just continue on their way like they don't exist?
I think about that a lot because I'm walking. I walk in a really packed environment on the way to get TJ.
Yeah.
So I'm dealing with a middle school and I'm dealing with a high school, and they walk in packs, and they're in their own worlds. They're all talking about it. But I always wonder, I'm a woman, I'm a mom walking towards you, and how often they will just pummel and I'll have to walk the side. And then every once in a while, you'll see one kid go, guys.
Yeah. Well, there's one school in Toronto specifically who they have to get out of the way in their uniforms and stand on the grass if a parent's coming towards them. Like, and they have to be like, wait for the person to that is their mandate in their uniform. Like when they go out in the community.
I do remember when I wore a uniform, how much they instilled that in us, because we are a piece of marketing material walking around,
I also think it's so, like the parenting lessons of what if I could go back and tell myself, if I could go meet myself for coffee, that trend, if I could go meet myself for coffee, the things that matter are homework doesn't matter. Do they know how to do homework matters?
Yeah. And the accountability to get it done.
Just like, do you actually know how to work on your own at home and manage homework? Do you actually know how to sit down and do it? Number one.
I never, ever in high school learned that skill.
No.
Never.
Okay. Number two, homework leads to learning how to study. So do you know how to summarize what you're doing and do it? No one teaches you that. No one tells you you have to learn that. You have to learn that. The third thing is grades matter if you want to go somewhere. Grades don't matter in life. Grades matter for opportunities that you may want. Not what I want, not what your teachers want, what you want. And I think that is, thank God I never told my kids that, but they figured it out on their own, what matters.
And marks really are like, kids are so basic and they're young and their minds are immature, but marks are a reflection of your drive.
And do you know it or not know it?
Yeah.
Like, do you know 50% of the work or do you know 100% of the work?
And it doesn't matter like what it is, but just so you know, it's not just a mark. It's a reflection of you as a student.
Yeah. And how you work.
And understandably, my kid doesn't like music, okay? He can't wait to get out of it. He's just doing it to get by. Okay, you're going to get your mark, whatever. It's also, well, the other thing is that like, if something comes naturally to you, listen to the whisper.
Yeah.
Music is not coming naturally to that child.
Ditch.
ditch. Okay, so that's one thing off your list to look at.
I would say though, as a parent to a younger kid, what I would have done differently to my elementary kids, which I still have one, but she's very natural at it, is teaching them how to. I know how to organize your homework, so it's not like, do you have homework, like setting them up with small skills in order to launch them, so when they're grade 7 and 8 it's not like now it's homework time, like teaching them. She's very good at managing and doing it. They do such small amounts of, well, actually they do a lot of homework, but they have a week to do it, so that she has to manage when she does it. But I think the bigger skills are like, and then I told someone else, I'm like, do they actually know how to study? Because I think most kids don't know how to. I don't think they know how to sit down and be like, they'll read something and be like, oh, I read it. But do you know how to summarize the key points and be like, this is what I need to take from this? Because it's actually not. Example, one of my kids has to learn religious studies. Guys, I have a few very religious, very close family members in my life. I grew up going to church. I could not tell you one thing about church. I went for the tang. I literally went for the tang. I would sit there, nothing went in my brain. I was waiting for the cookies and tang, the biscuits and tang. I was like, I can't wait for the tang. When the parents' church was over and y'all got to go mix and mingle in the hall, I was like, I would sit and just pour as much tang as I could. I chugged tang and cookies, okay? Tang.
Was it orange?
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh my God, I was so, loved Sundays. Tang and fucking cookies, okay?
Oh, isn't that so cute that like our kids don't have that? Like when I only got a treat on Fridays, I would go to the store and
we got cookies, a whole bunch of cookies. I just love tang.
Yeah, but like if your kid liked tang now, they'd get tang whenever they wanted.
Oh, I know. So tang. So I got tang. So then I was like, I went for a long time, years. I shouldn't actually even say it out loud, but I will be.
It's okay.
No, like
you didn't retain any of the information. It went in one ear, went out the other.
Like I don't know who impregnated Mary. I just learned that yesterday.
It was just Immaculate Conception, right?
I think it was God.
Yeah, but yes,
I think. Oh, but like something. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. Sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I know this is a. I'm just saying.
You should probably be sorry to your parents who made you go there and was hoping you were retaining it, but don't be sorry to anyone else.
I don't even know what must I have been thinking sitting in Sunday school? I have no idea. I don't know how they didn't think that was ADHD right there, that moment, that I did not retain one single thing. However, fast forward, I said to him, here's the thing. I know this is real because there's a lot of names in there. He's got to learn the religion, like a lot of big names that are not common for us. I said, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to teach you the big picture. We're going to just learn, because right now you're learning the small picture. So we're going to try to find
How the fuck did you teach the big picture, and what is the big picture?
I'm going to try to go on Amazon and I'm going to try to find a book. I'm going to say, give me the Bible in 10 pages. Just give it to me. Just tell me, like, not the nitty gritty, just the big old picture. What is the story? Tell me the story, because I think that we're lost in the story right now. We don't even know what the story is.
By the way, I don't even know. Like, unless it's just like a comprehension, I'm not sure the big picture story really matters. I don't think my son knows the big picture. He's just needing to know the little details.
I think he needs to know, even
in general,
who these
it would be nice. In life, it would be good to know, because you're always going to meet religious people.
I just think it'd be good for him to know what. I don't even think we're aware. Like it's all very new to us, for him especially. He's never been in a church. Like he's never been in a church. That's crazy. We haven't even
it's also a major religion in our community. It'd be good to maybe understand it.
I mean, I have a dad who goes.
Well, your husband knows. Why can't your husband just tell him?
I think it'd be too many details.
Okay.
We need to go big picture. Okay. So I'm going to look for maybe a storybook.
Children's book. Perfect.
Like go right down to that without too many details. I'm like, I'm going to teach you this because you need to go big and see what you need to learn.
Okay.
And then we can crunch it down. So when they're talking about it, you can pull from what you know.
Do you think it all comes back to the understanding?
Yeah, because if you don't know who Mary is, I think you're kind of screwed.
I'm not sure that Tucker knows. Well, I'll have to ask him. Maybe Tucker knows more than I think.
I think he does.
You think he could explain to me?
100%. He's explained to me because he's like, Max, it's so easy. And I'm like, I go, Tucker, we're dealing with like, I don't even know if he knows like God's in the sky. Like, I'm not even sure or maybe God's in us. But I don't even know if he knows, like, I don't even know. I don't think he really knows nothing.
You know what's unfortunate? It doesn't fall into my daughter's path to take world religion, so she's not going to take it.
Oh, and my husband's Catholic, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if he got confirmed.
He was probably too busy at the time.
So maybe he did. He knows a lot more, but I think it'd be too many details. But him and I are going to do the storybook. Anyways, point being, executive functioning, learning how to learn what you need to learn.
And the crazy thing is that my daughter didn't know how. And I
TikTok taught her
because I was explaining to my son what she didn't know is like studying. You think studying is just like reading things over, memorizing shit. And because of TikTok, they see the study talk, right?
Yeah.
The different kinds of ways you can study. And then Taylor found out through TikTok what resonated with her for studying.
Yeah. And how you do it. But you need to learn that. I'm glad they're learning. That's what homework is. They teach you how to learn so you know how you learn. I know how my son learns, but now I have to teach him how he learns. You know what I mean?
I know. So I was studying with one of mine, and you know how on a very basic level, what they try to do is they're like, I need to memorize this. So I'm going to memorize it word for word. But I've learned through time and age that if you
need to understand.
You need to understand. And if you put it into real life, it's so much easier to understand. And, my son.
That's why we need the book.
He was in school, and he was obviously his teacher had taught him this, but I laid it down how it works in the real world. And then he was like, oh, when I took my test, I just thought about how you said it, and even when he talked to his dad said it more in like a teacher kind of a way.
No,
I'm like, no. That's why I found accounting so interesting to explain to Taylor after what we've learned in the real world.
Yeah. And science, like the periodic table, all the things, you just make up dirty names.
Oh yeah. That's a good one too.
And they know all of it.
Yeah.
Like it is dirt. Like I am like, Harry Cock for like all of the things.
Yeah.
They remember it.
Yeah.
I mean, inappropriate, yes.
But it's frustrating when they're trying to just memorize and you're like, but hold on.
Just put acronyms.
Think about it, but also just think about what that word means.
Well, some of it you just have to memorize.
Some of it you definitely do. And I would say like, when we were dealing with some of the like science definitions and I'm like, but look at that word. Oh, one was like homo and hetero. And I was like, homosexual, same.
Hetero.
Like, I'm like, he's like, oh, that's, I'm like, it's the
milk's a weird one.
Homogenized milk. Cause it's, not
skimmed.
Yeah. Because it worked, because it's, that was another thing is like, it was like liquids, repelling each other, being different or mixing together. Right. And I was like, think about it like, look at the word. Often there is like a word in there that is something you use in a daily that you didn't think about.
Yeah.
And then people are like, what's a homosexual? And I'm like, what the fuck? Because they just use like gay and like.
Why would someone get mad at me for not knowing religion? Or would they not? Because he's at a Catholic school and he's not Catholic.
But we were told when we went to that school.
I didn't lie that he was
you
Catholic.
Do not have
he's
to be
not
Catholic.
Yeah.
I wrote on my thing, we don't go to church.
Yeah, me neither.
He does not know who God is. Like, we don't know anything. Still allowed to go to the school.
Okay. So, right. So we didn't, if we had lied, you could get mad at it.
I guess. I mean.
Because then we're not the value.
I think that because would you say the majority of where we live is like of a Catholic religion? Maybe not anymore.
I didn't go to Catholic thing. I went to something else.
So I mean, like Christians. Sorry, we're Christians.
I didn't go to Christian.
Right. So yeah, you're not supposed to know any of that.
What's the other Christian? What's the other thing I went to?
Are you United? Are you Protestant?
That sounds about right. I was baptized too.
Me too.
Oh, for what?
Were all your siblings? Probably not the little one. Oh yeah, the little one. For sure.
Everyone is. Yeah.
Oh, I did 2 out of 4.
I have family members. My sister goes to Bible study still and stuff.
Yeah, no, my mom was raised very, 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 very Catholic.
I was too.
But my dad is not Catholic. No, you're not raised Catholic.
I mean, I was raised in church.
Church, but not Catholic.
Not a thing.
Not Catholic.
One thing. I can't even name the wise men.
Isn't that just? That's not actually.
Is that
a Bible thing? Isn't that just like Christmas thing?
No, I think the wise men are people.
But I don't think that they're main characters.
I do. they have a whole manger.
But isn't that just for like one scene?
I'm going to get a book and we're going to learn. We're all going to learn about this.
Noah's Ark? Is that part of the Bible?
Dude, stop
just
it.
another story.
Dude, listen, we're working on not much over here. I'm trying to support him in his studies, knowing nothing. Actually, his dad should do this, but I'm gonna get. But because I know nothing, I can learn with him. And if I can learn and teach him,
I'm sure TJ would love to come and learn. By the way,
TJ.
Yeah, he loves talking about where all this shit came from, and he's got his own
I don't think
ideas.
it's where it's come from. Wait.
Yeah, well, God.
Oh,
some people believe that's why we're here.
No, but I don't think it talks about. That's not the Bible. Why we're
Yes,
here
it is.
No, it's not.
It all started because Mary got pregnant, right? And we've all are descendants of that.
God was here first.
Well, God is
Didn't
like
Jesus die and then Mary came?
But all the people that believe in that believe that's how we got here.
From Mary?
Well, who had
Mary had everybody?
Yes,
Mary had everybody.
Well, she had someone who, and then like, who did Mary's kid have? How did we get population?
From Mary?
Was there anyone else?
Yes, the wise men. Mary was married.
Okay, what about Adam and Eve?
That's not part of the religion. I know that. I don't know that. But I think
they believe we got here because of religion. So TJ wants to know the origination.
I don't
people
think
who believe
the Bible.
yes, the Bible is not like, if you believe in like evolution with the monkeys, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The religious people don't believe that.
No, I know.
They believe that humans were here.
But I don't think Mary had everybody. People were here before Mary had.
You think people just appeared here?
Well, maybe they don't talk about that.
Of course they talk about that.
Didn't Mary have Jesus?
Okay, but then we all came from Jesus's lovers. Natalie.
Jesus was the baby.
Baby grew up. Did you see him?
Yes.
He was a kind of beard
so
when he
was it
died.
only Mary and Jesus?
The two of them?
I don't know. The wise men too. This is terrible.
Not terrible.
It's terrible.
Not part of my thing. Not part of my,
I can't wait to buy my book. I can't wait to buy my book. I know y'all think, what do you do? What do you do? We just live.
We're actually spiritual. We believe in.
You believe in aliens?
It's not a believe in. They're real. Like, God.
This is too much. Sorry, your parenting podcast just went right off the rails. And I apologize to any. I really do. I know religion's a very real thing, and I'm not making fun of it at all. I just don't know how.
We're really also giving a lot of airtime to Christianity.
Yeah.
Catholicism. What about everybody else?
I don't know. I don't know any. I'll get all the books.
I think I'm the closest to Buddhist.
Okay. Well, I'll get all the books, the children's books, and we'll go through all of them and we'll decide which one resonates most with us.
I know how to play the didgeridoo.
That's Australian. That's how she feels. That's not Buddhist.
Well, I played the didgeridoo in my world religions class.
So that's different. That's Australian. So thanks for joining us. If there was some key takeaways here, it's that teach your kids how to study young, and homework actually is important. It is something that I never knew was important. I thought I would just wrap that up for you just in case.
And I also want you to know that thank you for being on this journey, and make sure that you check out The Common Parent, because we live everything openly together as a community, because we're heading into this world together, and we're going to share our experience.
Do you want to know what I do want to say? Not having a religion has made me so open to hearing about everyone's perspective, to understand what they believe in.
Your doors are open.
I like to hear you. I like to hear what you think. I like to hear people's perspectives of what they think, because it's interesting to me, because some people say there's fact, but then other people say there's not fact, because there's so many different religions. So when I hear what people think and how within two, like Christianity and Catholicism, that there can be two totally different beliefs within one thing. Fascinating.
And it is actually great when all your doors are still wide open to hear. So you don't have your own beliefs already
I won't fight with you, because I don't have it. So I'm like, I'll listen to you. I would love to hear your perspective. Teach me what you think. And maybe I'll take a little something from that.
Exactly.
You teach me. I like that. I'm going to take a little something from that.
Yep.
Teach me that.
And I do think, that's what I would say to my kids, is take a little bit of everything and make up your own religion.
Yeah. Beautiful thing
and
we live
in.
in.
It doesn't need to be called a religion.
No, it can be a cult.
Heal the world, make it up.
Goodbye.